Coming up in this edition of Media McKnight, Craig McLachlan shows how left-leaning media is out of touch. Channel 10's early evening shake-up comes with serious risk. Taylor Sheridan, the creator of Yellowstone, makes a major move, but I've uncovered a major mistake he's made. Can 7 News claw back viewers with pet segments? The very classy thing former 4BC presenter Peter Fegan did after he was sacked. Why and how Aussie TV needs to reconnect with real audiences, and Australia finally gets it right with an international remake. All that and so much more in episode 16 of Media McKnight. Hello, I'm Rob McKnight, and with over 30 years' experience, this is Media McKnight. You know, sharing my insights and calling out the media does come with a price. It does cost me work in the industry I love so much. So if you enjoy the work I do, maybe you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/McKnightTonight. You can also help by subscribing to my YouTube page at youtube.com/McKnightTonight. It all helps, keeps us going, keeping you informed. All right, let's get into it. A funny thing happened during my week off, and not funny ha-ha, but funny strange. I was offered an interview with Craig McLachlan and his partner, Vanessa Scammell, for my internet streaming show, McKnight Tonight. Here's a preview of the interview, which runs tomorrow night on my streaming show.
The great irony, Robert, is that I'm accused of being a bully in the workplace, and I've never witnessed bullying like it.
Do you think you owe anyone an apology, Craig?
Someone wrote to me from the ABC, texted me and said, "Mac, I can't believe this. They're trying to do a Don Burke on you." That was the quote.
We were blindsided. They didn't ever approach us or Craig directly. No one did.
You talked about defamation against the media, and you've mentioned her, Christy Whelan-Brown. Why'd you drop that?
Told lies and fucked my reputation. And what's happened to me, Robert? I don't have to spell it out, do I?
It's almost like I've made a promo before, isn't it? Well, it was an easy yes from me to agree to this interview, especially after the recent controversy surrounding Craig's involvement with the stage production of Cluedo, where he was forced to pull out after a backlash. Now, that backlash stems from the well-documented trial where he was found not guilty of sexual assault. McLachlan had been charged with 7 indecent assault charges and 6 common assault charges relating to his time performing in the Rocky Horror Show in 2014. Now, despite the not guilty finding, Magistrate Belinda Wallington explained the laws applied to events in 2014, and he was prosecuted under those laws, which were subsequently changed. She said that could have resulted in a different outcome if he had been prosecuted under those new laws. Of course, that's purely hypothetical. But her comments have given McLachlan's detractors ammunition to harass him out of work, as evidenced by the events surrounding Cluedo, and attacks on those who dare to platform him. I am now on the enemies list for doing just that. Now, in a democratic society, I believe we should have the right to talk to anyone, whether we agree with them or not. I don't believe the far-left woke mob should have the right to determine who is and isn't platformed. I've been told by friends and colleagues in the media not to run this interview, and choosing to do so has cost me a dear friendship, which truly saddens me. But this is something I just can't wrap my head around. You don't like who I'm talking to, and simply don't watch. Isn't it as simple as that? Apparently not. No, if the woke brigade have decided a person is persona non grata, then they should never be allowed in public again. It's ridiculous. And for our left-leaning TV stations, it's a sign of why audiences are flocking to other platforms. YouTube and other social media allow a variety of voices to be heard, whereas TV producers make judgments based on their political beliefs. And I'm not talking about the ABC here. I'm talking about commercial television. I've seen it time and time again behind the scenes. On Sunday night, I uploaded a promo and preview clip of my interview with McLachlan and Scammell, which has been viewed thousands of times on various platforms, especially TikTok, which seems to love news-based content, surprisingly. Now, there's been no outrage from real viewers, real consumers. Unlike people in the TV industry who told me I would be hounded for daring to do this interview, the feedback from normal people, if that's what you want to call them, is they are interested to see what he has to say. Meanwhile, friends have accused me of re-traumatising victims, despite the fact they have every right and opportunity to tell their truth. So why can't Craig McLachlan tell his truth? Until the left-leaning activists in commercial television understand Australians are centrist, they will continue to lose audiences to other platforms that reflect the vast majority of Australians. See, most Australians believe in a fair go, equality for all, and they believe wokeness has gone too far. But many in the land of TV write those Australians off as racist, especially if they dare to question our immigration numbers. Unfortunately, most people who work in the television industry, they grew up with money in a good part of town and they don't understand the real Australia. As someone who grew up in Housing Commission, it's probably why I never completely fitted in, despite the fact pretty much every show and project I've ever made has been successful. And it's probably why, according to Deloitte, Australians are spending more on media and entertainment subscriptions than ever before, with the number of subscriptions per household reaching record highs. Basically, they're moving away from free-to-air TV and paying for other services. Meanwhile, this interview is filled with insights and new facts. I'm sure I'll cop it from people who think it's a soft interview and others who think I went too hard, especially if they're fans of McLachlan. Considering it was meant to only run for 10 minutes and turned into an hour-long interview, what you will witness is a genuine conversation about the events of the past decade, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, you can watch my interview with Craig McLachlan and Vanessa Scammell Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time on my YouTube channel. Hear their story and make up your own mind. If you're a regular watcher of Media McKnight, you wouldn't have been surprised about the early evening lineup changes at Channel 10. Changes which have seen 10 News Plus drop back to 30 minutes to make way for Deal or No Deal at 6:30, which has been spared the axe. Here's what I reported in episode 11 of Media McKnight. Channel 10 has announced Rebecca Gibney as the host of the long-rumoured reboot of Millionaire Hot Seat, but the announcement has led to something of a quandary for the beleaguered network. When 10 axed the project for the No Frills 10 News Plus, they moved Deal or No Deal from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m, assuming the show would fail to draw an audience. Planning on this outcome, the network started working on bringing back Millionaire Hot Seat. As reported by Kevin Perry at TV Black Box, sources within the show's production company have told TV Black Box no new episodes of Deal or No Deal have been commissioned for 2026 at this stage. The show looked dead, but something strange happened. It actually rated. As 10 News Plus sunk to new lows, Deal or No Deal continued to build, putting 10 in the position of axing the one show they have in their arsenal that's actually showing positive signs. Now panic is brewing as executives realise it would be silly, yes it would be, to drop the Grant Denyer hosted program, and plans are being drawn up to include Deal or No Deal in the 2026 lineup. What this means for 10 News Plus remains unclear. The show is cheap. It covers its costs. But can 10 afford to throw away Deal? Millionaire Hot Seat looks set to go at 7 p.m, but now insiders think Deal or No Deal could be set for a 6:30 p.m. slot, with 10 News Plus dropping back to 30 minutes. That would certainly take some pressure off the production crew who are trying to fill 60 minutes 6 nights a week with very limited resources. Watch this space. McKnight was right. I know you love it when I say that. Now we just have to wait to see how this new lineup will perform. 10, of course, will be hoping Millionaire Hot Seat can do bigger numbers than what Deal was doing in that 7 p.m. time slot. Meanwhile, the Grant Denyer hosted game show, it will have to try and get viewers to follow it to another time slot after just getting them to 7 p.m. And you know what? It feels like the entire industry is hoping and willing 10 News Plus can flourish in its short 30-minute format. And I genuinely mean that. That's not sarcasm. At a time when there are mass job losses, no one wants to see a news-based format fail. So we are wishing the show all the very best. In the 90s, news bulletins would air a fluffy story after the weather. The item wasn't necessarily news, but would end the bulletin on a lighter note, which could be promoted or dropped if there was breaking news, or of course if the weather ran long. During the early 2000s, that was replaced with more news and a tighter rundown, and the idea of a light ending was dropped. But after experimenting with comedy bits and a star signs, 7 News has brought back the fluffy item, literally. In Melbourne, a new series has launched called Pet of the Week.
Meet bonded bunny besties, Aioli and Hollandaise. These two make the perfect pair. While Aioli is curious and playful, Hollandaise is happy to chill out and lie back in bunny bliss.
Seriously, look, I was never a fan of the sunny side, but this is a step too far. As 9 News continues to overtake 7 News nationally and in most markets, except Perth of course, this is not the answer to fixing that growing ratings problem. The trend I'm seeing right now shows 9 News will be Australia's #1 show next year nationally. That will be a major achievement for the network, as 7 has been very dominant for years, again thanks to those big margins in Perth. You know, these days, I don't know about you, but I find myself tuning out after the first segment of the 6 p.m. news. With so much access to real news, I find myself needing less CCTV break-ins and violent crime. I still like the political analysis and coverage of major events, but the rest often just feels like filler. And this crap they're serving up, it's not helping to change my mind. So I guess we've come full circle. While some might like the light, fluffy item to end the news, I say drop the dead donkey and give me real news. I have to hand it to former 4BC host Peter Fegan, who has shown true class since being axed from the, currently 9-owned radio station. In an interview with The Australian, Fegan didn't blame anyone but himself for the ratings, saying, "It feels like I've let everyone down. My listeners, my team, my boss, and my station, everyone. It's crushing and a terrible feeling because I never want to let anyone down, and I still feel that guilt today. And as hard as it was for me to take, I respect the decision that 9 radio boss Tom Malone and Greg Burns made. I respect it because I understand it." In the Survey 6 ratings, Fegan delivered a lowly 3.6% share. That was down 0.5%, as every other slot in the station increased audience. You see, all other shows during the day were sitting above 5%. In my wrap of those ratings, I predicted Fegan would lose his job. Sure enough, a few days later, that prediction came true. McKnight was right. Now, I did pitch a move for Fegan to the morning slot in the same column, but it wasn't to be. While the breakfast slot didn't work out for Fegan, he was hungry in the role. He was known to be in early and out late, trying to make the best show he possibly could. And what's more, he has taken responsibility for the result instead of looking to blame others. Seriously, how often have we heard presenters complain about a lack of marketing or bad management decisions? I admire someone who can cop it on the chin, pick themselves up and try again. So Peter, you've shown true class. Good luck in the future. I had to laugh when I saw this post by Channel 7 on social media about the winner of The Voice. "Definitely quitting Bunnings, The Voice 2025 winner name," screamed the headline. The winner was Alyssa Del Popolo. And I don't know if it's the cynic in me, but I honestly thought to myself, I wouldn't be rushing to quit so quickly. You'll only end up back there in a year's time. That thought was not about the quality of the talent of Del Popolo, but more a reflection of how these reality TV show contestants are chewed up and spat out once their series has gone to air. While the early seasons of Australian Idol produced real stars like Guy Sebastian, it's getting hard to remember the names of any song contest winners in recent years. Congrats if you do, but me, I'm drawing a blank. So Alyssa, enjoy the ride while it lasts, enjoy your 15 minutes, but don't count on long-term success. Having said that, I genuinely hope you prove to be the exception. When it comes to Australian remakes of comedy shows, we have not fared so well. Our woeful version of The Office has thankfully been cancelled and will soon be a distant memory. So to say I was worried about the Paramount Plus Channel 10 Australian remake of Ghosts, well, that would be an understatement. The show launched in the UK and has been remade in several territories, including the US, where the series is still going strong. Paramount Plus has uploaded the entire Australian series onto its service. I have to say, I love it. This is a show that takes a well-known concept and gives it a fresh breath of life, no pun intended. The characters are unique, even if they're borrowing tropes from overseas, and the storylines are tailor-made for an Australian setting. My kids weren't as taken with it as I was. We're also enjoying the new series of the US version, but we did binge the first 5 episodes in no time flat. Ghost Australia is a masterclass in taking an overseas successful format and truly making it something unique. Well done to all. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Media McKnight. Now you can go and buy me a coffee. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/McKnight tonight. And don't forget to watch the Craig McLachlan interview tomorrow at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time at youtube.com/@McKnight tonight. I'll be taking your feedback live throughout the stream and interrupting the interview to see what people are saying. It'll be very interesting. I'm Rob McKnight. I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.